r/AskReddit by Redmond Dtes. What is the spiciest gossip you know that you are willing to share on Reddit? Mother from a girl in my kid's class cheated with the father of another girl. 6 months forwards, they both get a divorce and start dating. Another few months forwards, and the other parents, who got cheated on, started dating together. The girls are now double-step siblings. An undercover cop in my hometown was secretly banging the biggest coke dealer in town. When I was in the 3rd or 4th grade, a classmate Carla came to my house to play. The next day at school, Carla told others that I'd peed my pants. I denied it for 34 years. I did in fact pee my pants that day. It was a great playdate. I was very amped on soda and excitement. Carla, why did you share my business? My boss and a co-worker were fooling around. He was married, she was single. One day they go to lunch together. The woman calls the office about 40 minutes later, in a sheer panic. My boss had a heart attack and died in the middle of their afternoon delight. Needless to say, the funeral service was awkward as F. My dad had a heart attack banging my mum while on a weekend break in a hotel. Ambulance team offered to call his wife to let her know and were surprised when the lady turned out to be his wife. Apparently commented that it doesn't normally happen with the wife. I used to work at a daycare, and in the same guy was the boyfriend of 2 of the moms. He'd come in with Rhonda in the morning to drop off their baby, and then he'd come by in the afternoon with Susan to pick up her kid. They eventually found out. Wild behavior. At my old job, 2 co-workers were having a secret affair, both married to other people. They got caught because they both called in sick on the same day and posted beach photos from the exact same location on Instagram. To this day, neither returned to the office, and their desks were cleared out by HR without a word. I worked in a grocery store, and one of the cashiers and a vendor had sex in a storage area. A couple of weeks later, the vendor came in and yelled about how the cashier gave him the clap. I started work at this telecommunications company back in the early 90s. One of our co-workers was diagnosed with 2 different types of cancer. He had a lot of time off. Claimed to be going to Mayo. Co-workers started donating vacation hours, illness hours, having fundraisers for his treatment, even though our healthcare insurance was really good. Something didn't feel right to me. I was harassed a bit about not donating, but I made excuses. Things are tight, newly married, etc. Plus he claimed to have 2 cancers that, if I remember correctly, would be highly unusual to have together. No, this was not a metastasis type thing. Anyway, as I'm sure you guessed, he used up all the donated hours and disappeared with the money. Trust your gut, people. When I was in middle school, our married school secretary was having an affair with a married cop whose wife was pregnant. He died in a work accident, car crash I believe. Affair gets found out. Wife goes into early labor. Baby dies. We currently have a guy at our work who keeps putting banana peels on everybody's car door. They've been trying to find out who it is for months now. He started out by just doing it to a few cars, but now it's escalated to pretty much every car door in the parking lot. Everybody has gotten pissed to the point that HR and all of the top managers are now involved. Crazy it's been going on this long, and they still have no idea who it is. But I know who it is. Because it's me. Years ago, my friend's live-in boyfriend died in a freak accident. She went through his email to inform people and discovered affairs, like he was in a literal sex club. He had even sent videos of him and my friend having sex to these people, including responding to requests for certain positions. He worked from home, and he was so good about cleaning the house before she came home from work. To say this discovery complicated the grieving process would be an understatement. In high school, my married art teacher was having an affair with a student, a cheerleader. She used to sneak into bars where his band was playing to see him. His wife finds out, they get a divorce. He marries the student, they're still together with 2 kids. And now she's in his band. That played at our high school reunion. My mother was an addictions counselor, and she had sex with clients, provided them alcohol, and one she brought to live with us. I was a kid at the time, and had no idea what was happening, or that I could report it. I feel bad for those folks, they were manipulated horribly. A woman once tried to hurt me by sleeping with my boyfriend. We were all at a weekend-long event where I wasn't hanging out with my partner constantly, and she didn't really know either of us. She picked the wrong man and ended up pregnant. She baby trapped the wrong man out of jealousy for someone she'd never even had a conversation with. My cousin Brad and his wife Eliza spilled up. I assume he cheated on her because of past cheating on girlfriends. He stays with his mom for a bit. My mom and I regularly take my kids to swim in her pool when she is at work. We get there one day and there is a woman on the porch and a vehicle we don't know. She is vaguely familiar, but I can't place her. She was super weird acting when my mom is trying to talk to her and explain why we are there and see why she is there. She leaves pretty quickly and we find my cousin inside acting a bit weird. The next day, I take my youngest to playgroup at the elementary school. During the summer it's drop-in, so it's easy to see families you don't know. The leader introduces me to some woman, and I try to talk to her, and she is incredibly cold to me. After I leave, it clicks, she is the woman who was at my aunt's house. So I'm certain she is the affair partner. I go through my cousin and his wife's Facebook, and I finally find her, she is the wife's cousin. So my cousin is cheating with his wife's cousin. On top of it all, she is my neighbor's daughter-in-law. My cousin got a house and doesn't know we know. We all are super happy for her. My neighbor, who was slightly slow, married his cousin, and they had 2 mentally disabled kids and 1 girl who seemed okay. She was told not to have kids cause her genes were messed up, but she did anyway, so she had 3 more kids, all severely mentally disabled. That's messed up, right? The most scandalous part is that neighbor is the son of a rich family. I'm talking politicians, really old money. They made him change his last name, but keep sending him money to stay away. He is in his late 60s, and his mental condition is getting worse. Once he went to a fancy event from his family and was kicked out. They dropped him off at his house in a ridiculously expensive car. I used to have a married supervisor who started a thing with our other, just married supervisor. He had an RV he'd use for hunting, and they'd go out there. I only found out because we had a work party at a bar, and I overheard the newly married co-workers' friends talking about it. And the age gap was huge too. The supervisor was in his 60s and the newly married supervisor was in her 20s. At a family gathering, my aunt got drunk and accidentally revealed that her youngest son isn't my uncle's kid. He's actually my dad's best friends. If I had a secret that major, I would never be anything other than completely sober. At my previous job, there was an employee in his 60s that said inappropriate sexual comments to staff. Administration did not take the complaints seriously because he's an old man. He won't do anything. He is currently in prison for multiple sex offense crimes. The administration was shocked when they found out. Inappropriate comments should always be taken seriously and investigated. The owner of my town's ice cream shop, early 40s man, solicited one of his employees, 17-year-old girl, for naked pictures and offered to give her $500 if she pulled her pants down in front of the cameras at the shop and touched herself. She took screenshots of his texts asking for this and showed her parents. They confronted the owner. The owner's wife defended him and said he was with her at the time of the texts and that he was just drunk. I don't know what happened after this, but I'm guessing nothing serious, since the guy still has his ice cream shop, and no one seems to know anything about it. I'm from a super religious family. My grandfather was a pastor, and he and my grandma had a lot of kids. They all grew up in church, sang in the choir, taught Sunday school, etc. My aunt has had a thing for sleeping with married men since she was in her early 20s. She has ruined multiple friendships and marriages. Another aunt is a recovering alcoholic. Another kid was involved in tax evasion. I'm the only grandkid that knows. Everyone believes that all of my grandparents' kids are really good religious people. They aren't. I met my old co-worker on Tinder 3 weeks before he proposed to his now wife. Luckily it was before working together and never went beyond one date. My rich sister-in-law, who's a stay-at-home mom, got arrested for stealing at Target. No one in the family knows, and she doesn't know that I know, because they buried it quickly. The best part, my mother-in-law was her accomplice, and they had apparently been doing this for months. Mrs. Krabappel and Principal Skinner were in the closet making babies, and I saw one of the babies, and the baby looked at me. That's all folks. Thank you for watching. If you like videos like this one, why not like and subscribe for more? Have a nice evening.